Good morning, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I will determine whether probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you are the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings. Unless and until eventually the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. And if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, none but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Christina Coffey. Ms. Coffey, what's your date of birth?
9/9/81.
All right, Ms. Coffey, you're here on a probable cause arrest for a violation of probation. There is probable cause for the VOP. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
PD, please.
I'll appoint the public defender. The bond, of course, is no bond. I'm going to have you back in court on February 13th. Public defender will come see you before then, okay? Thank you. Michaela Matthews Cicero. Morning, young lady. I understand you pled out on your felony case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And got 8 months?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know what your EOS is yet?
March 6th.
Okay. And you'd like to resolve your misdemeanor then to time served, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You understand by entering a plea in this case, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent. But you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this case today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 18, CT3482, as to the charge of permitting an unauthorized person to operate your vehicle. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
Yes, sir.
Accept the no contest plea, find that it was free of being voluntarily made. I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 52 days in the county jail, credit 52 served. Fine and court costs is $488 for the public defender's office. I will not order cost of incarceration, as I'm sure that was done in circuit court. Michaela, that takes care of your misdemeanor, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Jessica Rice. Morning, Ms. Rice. What's your date of birth?
6/4/81.
Ms. Rice, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. Apparently, you failed to appear in his court on a charge of possession of controlled substance. As to that charge, you're representing yourself. You got private counsel, or you have the public defender?
I had a public defender, but I'm on PTI.
Okay, you want the public defender now?
Yes, but I was wanting to request to be reinstated to the PTI. I believe.
Well,
Joe.
and Jessica, hang on. The reinstatement to the PTI is beyond my ability. All right, that's not something I can do for you today. All I can do is tell you that you have this warrant from Judge Toner, tell you what the bond is, and tell you when you're going back to see him. All right.
Okay.
All right. So you'd like the public defender?
Yes.
Very good. I'm going to appoint the public defender, tell you that the bond on that warrant is $4,000. You'll be back to see Judge Toner on the 13th of February. When you get out, very important that you contact the public defender's office so they can help you with your issues, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Jacqueline Watts. Morning, Miss Watts. What's your date of birth?
3/21/56.
Watts, you are here on a charge of driving under the influence. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
I would like the public defender during this hearing, and then I'll hire an attorney.
Okay.
I don't know what to do, in other words.
Okay. I'll appoint the public defender for now. State, what can you tell me?
Judge, I'm not sure anything unless you have something on the traffic record.
Not a thing. All right. So, okay. Mr. Watts, I have an address for you on Lucy Street in Tallahassee. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir?
Okay. And what brought you to Hernando County?
I teach at a construction school down here.
Okay. And very good. All right. I'll set your bond as $500. I will have you back in court on the 13th of February, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Jordan Albert. Morning, Jordan. What's your date of birth?
6/1981.
Okay. All right, Jordan, I got two issues today. The first is a warrant signed by Judge Angelitis. He found probable cause for one count of violation of pretrial release. And then there's a warrant signed by Judge Toner. Apparently he failed to appear in his court on a charge of battery, second or subsequent. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'm going to appoint the public defender on both and state what I'm going to do based on the way these look. So I'm going to set him a bond on the new one, and I'm going to revoke him on the old one because it would appear that he was out when the violation occurred.
Yes, sir, and I do have concerns in setting the bond, if I could give you some brief information.
Sure, go ahead.
There was a case from last April. It was dropped, but there was a domestic arrest last April. Further, Judge, I did pull up CSIS. I am showing a prior Baker Act in May of last year, and I am showing prior domestic arrests in 2012, which included a violation of condition of pretrial release, domestic battery, petty theft, and criminal mischief out of Polk County. Another prior domestic charge conviction out of 2012 out of Polk County, and then a prior resisting out of Pasco 2010. Burglary felony, Polk in 2007. But I am concerned about the domestic charges, Judge, and especially this pattern of conduct in the past, immediate past.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, Jordan, on the new charge, the violation of condition of pretrial release, I'm going to set a bond on that one of $5,000. Condition of the bond, of course, is that you have no contact. That case is coming back on the 13th of February. On your felony case, however, job number one when you're out on bond is don't pick up new charges. It appears to me that you have. So in spite of the bond that says $10,000, in that case, which is 18 CF 2464, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471. I'm going to hold you without bond on that case, at least until you get back to Judge Toner on the 13th. I am also specifically ordering you not to call or write the alleged victim from the jail, so no contact of any kind that way. You'll be, like I said, even though I set a bond in the new case, you can't get out because of the RCO in the old case. Public defender is going to come see you about both your cases at the jail and explain your situation in further detail, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Glenn Howler. Hello, sir. What's your date of birth?
12843.
All right. So you're here one count of violation of an injunction for protection against domestic violence. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I want to get attorneys out here as soon as I get out of here.
Okay. You're going to hire your own lawyer, or would you like me to appoint an
Yes, sir.
attorney from the public defender's office?
I'm going to hire my own.
Very good. State, what can you tell me?
Judge, I'm going to tell you that there was a prior charge of Hillsborough aggravated assault, but that's back in the 80s. I'm not showing on this, the way this has been run, any additional history recently.
Okay. And, all right. So, Glenn, the address I have for you is 7484 Susquehanna, but that's not where you're living now, is it?
No, sir.
Where are you living now?
In my car in a motel.
Okay.
Down in Citrus County.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I'm retired. Law enforcement.
Okay. Then you know better. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Miss Sheehan. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't go where she lives. You don't go where she works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Don't contact through any other social media. Any way that you might possibly imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact with her again or go where she lives again, you'll wind up in jail without bond. Do you understand all that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Going to have you back in court on the 13th of February. When you get out, make sure you tell your lawyer about that date, okay?
Oh, I'm going to.
Thank you. Dustin Bickford. Morning, Dustin. What's your date of birth?
3/10/81.
Dustin, I've got 5 charges this morning: possession of cocaine, possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of marijuana, carrying a concealed firearm. There's probable cause all the way around. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Hire attorney.
Very good. State.
Judge, showing prior drug charges in 2016, concealed weapon, even though it is old, it was carrying a concealed weapon back in 2006, possession of cannabis back in 2006 as well.
Okay. And Dustin, I have an address for you on Durango Circle in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
No, sir.
Okay, where do you live now, Dustin?
I'm sorry?
Where do you live now?
I just moved. I don't really know the address. It's in Land O'Lakes.
Is it Thorncrest Avenue?
No, that's an old address also.
You don't have any idea where you live?
I don't know the physical address. It's in Land O'Lakes. I don't have. It's in my phone. I don't have it. They got my phone.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I own a business.
What kind of business?
A transmission business.
What do you translate?
Transmissions. Car transmissions.
Okay.
Yes.
Where's it located?
Hudson.
Okay. Set the bond on the cocaine at $2,000. On the controlled substance at $2,000. On the paraphernalia and the marijuana at $1,000 each, and the concealed firearm $2,000. That's $8,000 total. I'll have you back in court on the 13th of February. Very important that you tell your lawyer about that date when you get out. All right?
All right.
Thank you. Justin Camacho. Morning, Mr. Camacho. What's your date of birth?
9688.
Camacho, you're here on a charge of driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'm a public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
Judge, I know that it's a traffic charge, but he does have a history of many failure to appears
Okay.
and other additional charges. I can go into that if you want.
That's
But
okay.
it's the failure to appears and drug charges and theft charges and other things.
Justin, I got an address for you on Ball Court in Hudson. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
Already 4 years.
You have a job these days?
I do my own little business on the side. I detail cars and pressure wash houses.
Okay. I'm going to leave your bond at $1,000. I'll have you back in court on the 13th of February. When you get out, make sure you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Austin Carhart. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
1/21/97.
Austin, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for 1 count of ag stalking. There's As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
A public defender, please.
I'll appoint the public defender. Stay with me, Tony.
Judge, there was a 2016 felony, the charge on CSIS listed as preventing firefighter or something from obtaining equipment. There was a violation of probation on an assault, failure to appears. There was some kind of child abuse charge in 2015, adjudication of guilt. He's had two repeat violence injunctions filed against, at least one filed against him. He's also had prior arrests and conviction for assault, battery, and then 2 drop batteries in the past as a juvenile.
Okay. Austin, I have an address for you on Ruster Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
No, sir.
Where do you live now?
I was living off of US 41, but I can't really remember the address. It's a thrift store.
You were living there, or you're not living there anymore?
I'm not living there anymore now.
Okay. Do you have a place to live, or are you going to be homeless?
I'm going to be homeless, but if I get out, I'm going to stay with my dad for a few.
Okay, where does your dad live?
8470 Southern Charm Circle, Brooksville, Florida.
Very good. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir, I do.
What do you do?
The first job I do global concrete. I do concrete slab, and the second job I do roofing and repairing on houses.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Catherine Webster. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media, you don't go where she lives, you don't go where she works, you don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and I find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you will be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That is not a decision she'll be allowed to make. She might eventually go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She may say she doesn't want to pursue this. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. You will be back in court on this charge on the 13th of February. Very important that when you get out, you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Joseph, give you? Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
52572.
Joe, the charge is grand theft auto. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD state.
Judge, I'm showing out-of-state history as well as a pattern of failure to appear. The most important thing I want the court to know is he was released from the Department of Corrections not too long ago on drug charges.
Okay.
And has prior resistings, driving charges, fleeing to elude officers. Again, more failure to appears. I don't know how much of that you want me to continue to go.
That's okay. All right. And Joe, the address I have for you is 6461 Catalina Street. Is that where you were living?
Yes, sir.
And that's where Virginia lives as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have a job these days?
Actually, I supposed to start work today.
What were you going to be doing?
Air conditioning and heating installation, but that's where I was arrested at the house of where I work, of the owner of the company. At the time, I was speaking with him as where I was picked up at, so.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll have it when I get out, but.
Okay. I'm going to leave your bond at the $2,000. The other thing I'm going to do is order you not to have contact with Virginia. I don't know what the situation with you and she is, but until she presents herself to a judge or the state attorney's office and says she wants you back there or something of that nature, I'm not going to let you go back, all right? Hang on. Did you hear me? Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
And you understood it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The other thing I'll do is that if there's things there that you need, clothes, a toothbrush, whatever it is, you can go by one time. To do that, however, you've got to contact the sheriff's office. They'll meet you there with a deputy so you can pick up your things and get going wherever you're going to go. You'll be back in court on the 13th of February. When you're out, you should contact the public defender's office. Did you have any other questions, Joe?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Edwin Hobbs.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Edwin. What's your date of birth?
8/16/77.
All right, Edwin, you're here on a writ of bodily attachment. That means a child support hearing officer and a circuit judge determined that you owe some child support. They set a cash purge of $3,160. Do you have that much cash, Edwin?
No, sir. I just I was incarcerated since 2012. To my understanding, I had came here in 2010 for this issue.
Oh, Edwin, hang on. You're telling me that you've been in prison since 2012?
Yes, sir. I came home.
And they cut you loose, and
2018.
it looks like they sent you to Pinellas. What were you in Pinellas for?
I just relocated back to Pinellas from out of state 4 weeks ago, and they arrested me on this warrant for Hernando County.
Okay, well, when did you get out of prison then?
I got out of prison 2018, the beginning of 2018 in Rochester, New York. I was in federal custody since 2012.
Okay, and then where have you been since you got out of prison in Rochester?
I was in Rochester, sir, and then I just relocated back to Florida 4 weeks ago, and I just got a new job, everything. So I was saying, like, I can work out a payment plan. I just got hired
in the
city of St. Pete.
Slow down. So how did they find you in St. Pete? How did you happen to have contact with law enforcement in St. Pete?
Well, it was a routine traffic stop. I was riding with a buddy of mine, getting a ride, and I just gave him my ID.
And boom.
They just
welcome to
said I have
Hernando County.
Yes, sir.
Edwin, do you have any cash at all? If it meant getting out of jail today, can anybody get some money to the jail to get you out? Anything at all?
Well, I got a check that I didn't cash. That's what I'm saying. If I can get out, I can be able to. I can work a payment plan out or something where I can pay on this and get this matter resolved. Like I said, I just started working for the sanitation department in the city of St. Petersburg, and they're willing to hold my job for me to come back for a few days. That's what I was saying. I can work it out. And I got a check that's coming today also from last week when I worked.
All right, hang on. All right. What I'm going to do is I'll find you in contempt for failing to pay child support. Sanction for that contempt is 10 days in the county jail starting today, or until you get $50 to the county jail. So you're going to get on the phone and find somebody to get $50 there to get you out. Once you're out, then you want to get yourself to the folks at Child Support Enforcement, because this issue won't go away until you set up a payment plan. And if you don't get out and do that, then they're just going to start the process over again and you get arrested again, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
So you saying my peoples can bring $50 to
$50 cash.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. Devin Kendall. Morning, Devin. What's your date of birth?
11/13/86.
All right, Devin, you're here on a violation of probation warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt, so he found probable cause for the VOP. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender for right now.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that is no bond. I'm going to change your date to the 5th of February. Public defender will come see you before then, all right?
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you. Robert Kibler. Morning, Robert. What's your date of birth?
12/22/67.
Robert, I got a warrant for you signed by Judge Toner. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on 3 charges: possession of controlled substance, possession of paraphernalia, and resisting without. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel, you want the public defender.
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on those charges was set by Judge Toner at $4,000, $1,000, and $1,000 respectively for a total of $6,000. You'll be back in front of him on the 13th, and public defender will come see you if you don't bond out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Michael Lisk. Morning, Michael. What's your date of birth?
One and honor. 9/13/87.
Michael, I've got two new charges: a grand theft auto and a burglary of a conveyance. As to those charges, you plan to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender on these, and then it looks like he's got a bunch of open cases.
He does, Judge, and we're looking at it, even though the rest on these is 1-7. We've got offense dates of 12/17, 12/15, which are at or near. At least one of them, it's
Difficult for us to make the call, is that what you're thinking?
possibly
There's
on the
these
12/15,
There's
but not on
18/25/68 has an offense date of 11/28.
Judge, he's been in custody since December 19th without bond.
Oh,
So,
for something
or
else.
not without bond, but he's been in custody.
He hasn't been able to
December
make bond on
19th.
what he already has.
Correct, and he hasn't been released. So basically, I guess law enforcement is adding new charges.
They
So
keep
prior-
talking to other people and,
Correct.
okay.
That's what it appears.
Okay. So what I'll do then, Michael, is I'll leave the bonds per the schedule on these two, which is 2,000, so it's another 4,000. I'll move these to the 11th of February where all your other charges are, and I'm sure the PD will be out to see you before then, okay?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Bobby Talley? Morning, Bobby. What's your date of birth?
11/4/69.
Yeah. Bobby, I got two charges today. I got possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private
Public
counsel.
defender,
What?
Public defender, sir.
There you go. And state. Looks like you got an open Willis with me. Anything else?
Sorry, Judge, I had he and
Yes, yes.
the other one together, excuse me. I show in possession, back in the 90s, charge of ammo by convicted felon, old charges, again, out of a lot of it in the 90s. Going back into the 60s, trying to look for recent history.
It's only a few of us in this room that can do that.
What's that?
I said there's only a couple of us in this room that can go back to the 60s.
Well, little ways.
If you remember, you weren't there.
I am showing some out-of-state stuff. There is a history of criminal conduct, but I'm not showing something as recent on this history.
And Kenneth, the Willis that he has in front of me is unpaid tickets and whatnot. Would you care if we did time served on that today and get that out of the way? I don't think he's had a license in years.
I'm showing, Judge, the Willis as part of the felony charge. Am I wrong?
I haven't opened Willis. He's got one with me from September.
Oh, I didn't have that.
Yeah. Willis is out.
I'm not sure the public defender would want him to plead to that only because he has a new Willis attached to this one, and they may want to see.
I'm not seeing that. I have methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia.
I think. Are you on Bobby or Ollie?
It's Ollie. Oh yeah, that's Ollie.
His brother.
Ollie has his Willis.
Okay.
This is Bobby.
Then that's fine, Judge.
Okay.
I just didn't want them to resolve it if he had that open one, but since that's the brother.
That's the brother. All right. So a couple of things, Bobby. First of all, I have an address for you on Lake Drive. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
5 years.
All right. You got a job these days?
Yes, sir. I work for myself.
What do you do?
Tree work.
Okay. So Bobby, here's your options on this. What I'm going to do on the new case is I'm going to set your bond on the meth at $5,000, on the paraphernalia at $1,000. That's a total of $6,000, and that's coming back on the 13th of February. You got that open driving charge in front of me. If you want to resolve that today, I would have you plead no contest, and I'd sentence you to time served, and that case is done. If you don't resolve it today, then I'm going to revoke your pretrial release on that case, and I'm going to hold you without bond until February 12th, which is when you come back and see me. So would you like to resolve that case today?
Yes, sir.
That sounds like a good choice. You understand by entering a plea today, Bobby, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer. Do you want to give up those rights so we can take care of that today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 18CT3259, as to the charge that you drove knowing your license was suspended or revoked. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find as freely and voluntarily made, adjudicate you guilty. Sentence you to 2 days in the county jail, credit 2 days served, fine and court costs is $488, $100 for the 2 days in jail. So that takes care of your misdemeanor, Bobby, so now you're free to bond out on these felonies. If you get out, you should talk to the PD right away. You'll be back in court on February 13th, all right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, thanks. Ollie Tally. Morning, Ollie. What's your date of birth?
7/6/45.
All right, Ollie, you got 3 charges today: possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving with a license expired more than 6 months. As to those charges, there's probable cause all the way around. You want to represent yourself? Going to hire private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, I also have criminal history going back into the 90s, as well as a criminal registration here in Hernando in 2015. Traffic charges, Dwellis 2017. Probation violation felony 2013. Burglary of a structure, burglary of a dwelling. Probation violations, theft. He served 36 months in prison back in 2011. I can keep going on this.
That's good. That's good. All right, Ollie, I've got an address for you on Evanston Street in Weekiwachi. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long you been there?
5 years.
All right. You got a job these days?
I'm disabled.
Okay. I'm going to leave your bonds per the schedule, Ollie. That's $2,000 on the controlled substance, $1,000 on the paraphernalia, and $500 on the driver's license. That's a total of $3,500. I'm going to have you back in court on the 13th of February. If you get out, it's very important that you contact the public defender, okay?
All righty.
Thank you. Cosmas Vakalopoulos. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
October 8th, 1986.
So the charge I have is one count of driving under the influence. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
No public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, I have a possession charge out of 2009 Hernando, but that's the only thing I'm showing.
All right. And Cosmos, I have an address for you on Night Ridge Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long have you lived there?
6, 7 years.
You have a job these days?
Yeah, cabinet maker.
Okay. Set your bond at $500. I'm going to have you back in court on February 13th. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
All right.
Very good. Grant Weller. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
June 9th, 1967.
Grant, you are here on a warrant out of Levy County. The judge up there found probable cause for a VOP and set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll let the good folks in Levy County know that you're here and ready to go. Give them 5 days to come and get you. If you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And I got Vincent Ray on the list, but I got no paperwork. Anybody else got paperwork on Vincent?
Yeah, I've got paperwork. I've only got the first 2 pages, but I don't know if that's Steve. I don't have any third page.
Candace, you got paperwork on Vincent? Hey, Vincent.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
You got a third page on it?
What's your date of birth, Vincent?
11/18/81.
Their VOPs in front of me.
Yes.
Okay. You got Rex? You got him either. Hang on.
Judge, I apologize, but when I did the Tally Brothers,
Yep.
I may have mixed up reading the history to you. Both of them did have history going back a number of years, but
Yeah, I get given the ages.
I don't think it would change what you're
It
going to do.
would not have
with
changed
this.
a thing. No. Hang on 1 second, Vincent.
They had both had prior history, though.
Right. 717.
Did I just put the judge's copy, or is that something?
Yeah, that is.
It could be.
That is it.
There it is.
Looks like original writing, and I don't usually get original.
That'll help. Aha. There it is. That's the one.
Yeah, ours copy over there.
What's that? Oh, that's Stevens' back. All right, so Vincent, you're on 2 warrants that I signed. They're both VOP warrants. So I found probable cause for the VOP. Probation is recommending 60 days in the county jail. And it looks like you've been in jail for a couple of weeks now, or close to that.
Yeah, like 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay. So, really no reason to take the 60 days this morning. I can appoint you a public defender if you want, and then you'll be back to see me in a couple of more weeks and see if we can do something better than 60 days. If you want to take the 60 right now, you sure can.
I'll take the 60 right now, sir.
Okay, just get it over with?
Yep.
All right, you understand by entering admissions on these VOPs, you give up the right to have a trial to the court, the right to confront the witnesses against you, and the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then, jail, it looks to me like Vincent's been in jail since the 8th of January. Can you confirm that for me?
Yes, sir. He's been on here on domestic battery
Since 1/8?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, you did advisories for that for me, too.
I probably told you to stay where you are, right?
Yeah, you said you would count the time towards this meeting.
You and I have history, Vincent. All right, so that means, what's today? The 18th, right? So that means you got 11 days. Do you think you have time on these? I think these are both driving charges. Did you get arrested on either one of these prior to pleading out, or were they just notices to appear?
No, they were tickets for appearance and stuff. Never.
All right, so it's
yeah,
just the 11 days then.
I think I might have had one day in that I had to come in and bond out on one of them.
Okay.
But just a day. I ain't worried about that one day.
All right, very good. All right, so Vincent, we'll start with the older case, 17 CT 170. Do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes, sir.
Just technicals. And
yes.
In 18 CT 774 CT, do you admit you violated your probation, technicals only?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept those admissions, find they're freely and voluntarily made. In each case, I'll revoke and terminate unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge if that wasn't done before.
I can confirm that he does have the 1 day credit.
There's an extra one?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
Okay. I'll revoke and terminate, adjudicate guilty on both. In each case, I'll sentence you to 60 days in the county jail, running concurrent with each other. In each case, I'll give you credit for 12 days served. In each case, there'll be $100 cost of prosecution. In 17 CT 170, there'll be costs of incarceration. If that takes care of those two, Vincent, you just have to finish the time, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Vincent. Good luck.
Yeah, we're gonna come down and get your information.
Yeah, if I appointed the PD, unappoint him.
It was only on, just for purposes of the record, it was only on one of the cases.
And I gave it to him on both.
Is there,
It's Christmas.
but is there something else that'll be pending?
He has a felony battery pending. That's why I did technicals only. All right, and then finally, case number 18MM2868 continued over from yesterday. This is the State of Florida versus Louis Andrew Blodgett. We'll waive his appearance. Continue the case he missed yesterday, so continue for pretrial with a waiver of speedy to February 7th. Clerk to notify.
What was the first name?
Louis Andrew.
Didn't we get a review of that to look at it for that court?
Yeah, and he wasn't acceptable.
appearance is waived for yesterday, but not waived for the next one, no. Okay, anything else? Anyone else? Good to the cause? Good. All right.
Thanks, John.
Go kumbaya.